Hello everyone, Namaskar and Adab to everyone. I'm Mahmood Hassan. I'm a historian as well as a civil servant. As a part of the Asomiya society, the community are called the Koreas or the Asomiya Muslims form an important part of the Asomiya society, and they are very much an important part of the Asomiya society, and I have been working on this community for some time now, and I'd like to throw a few highlights of this particular community. Where did this community originate, or how they came to Assam, or whether they are indigenous from this place. So these things I'd like to discuss in this video. As a part of this video, I'd like to inform you that one version of the historians, including several Edward Gate and many other historians, they are of the opinion that the word Korea came from the word Go. They came from a place called Go. And I'd like to look at the map of India and find out where Go is. Even though the main issue is that actually these people, some of them Muslims who came from the eastern part of India, came and settled here, and they were subsequently called Bodias by the other people of Assam during those periods, starting with the 13th century. So it all started with the invasion of Ikhtiyar during Muhammad Bakhtiyar Khilji, who was a governor and a commander of the Delhi Sultanate, and he was the first governor who ruled from Gaur in Bengal under the Bengal Sultanate, and he led an army to Assam.
To find out some of the historical background, I planned a visit to Gaur and Pandua to know the location of the area. Many writers in Assam wrongly attribute the places being somewhere in Bangladesh, but in fact it lies mainly in Malda district of West Bengal. So I started on a journey to the area to understand the location and historical significance of the area and its relationship with Kamrup and Assam. My first stop was the famous Panbari Mosque located in Gauripur area of Dhubri district of Assam.
Namaskar and salam to all of you. I am now on my way to Gaur, and presently I am visiting the famous Panbari Mosque. This is located in Panbari area of Dhubri district of Assam, and here you can see this mosque, which was constructed by Sultan Alauddin Hussain Shah of Gaur when he invaded this region, and this was constructed between 1495 and 1505. This is the famous three domes of the mosque, and this mosque happens to be one of the have the designs of a Indo-Bangla form of architecture, and this kind of domes are nowhere to be found in Assam. So this is the form of architecture that was prevalent during those periods, and this is the only mosque of that kind of architecture in Assam. And let us come and see this famous architecture.
The famous Panbari Mosque was constructed by Sultan Alauddin Hussain Shah, who ruled from Gaur in Bengal from 1493 to 1519. Of Gaur constructed this mosque between 1495 and 1505. This is a beautiful construction made on the lines of fusion of Islamic and Bangla architecture, as he constructed similar other monuments in Gaur with similar domes and structures nowhere to be found in Assam. It shows that the masons from Bengal were brought for construction of the mosque. He made this area of Panbari, then called Rangamati, for its red soil, as well as garrison camp. So did the Mughal commanders Mir Jumla and Ram Singh, who put military camps in this strategic location while invading the region and fighting against the mighty Ahoms. This pre-Mughal architecture is fusion of Islamic and Bangla form of architecture. It resembles the contemporary mosque of Gaur area. Near the Panbari Mosque, I also visited the magazine house built by the Sultans and subsequently used by the Mughals when they invaded Assam. It was from this place that the armies took two routes to reach Guwahati. One is the land route, which was quite dangerous, and the second is the river route through which river Brahmaputra to reach Guwahati safely. During those periods, the river flowed close to Panbari, but now the river has moved away to the southern direction. Then I made a long journey to Siliguri to halt for the overnight before reaching Gaur and Pandua. After spending a night in Siliguri hotel, I proceeded to Malda, which is approximately 250 kilometers away from Siliguri. However, on the way close to the national highway, we visited the Adina Mosque, Eklakhi Mausoleum and the Qutub Shahi Mosque in Pandua area of West Bengal.
Now I am standing in front of the famous Adina Masjid in Pandua area of West Bengal. This was constructed by Sultan Sikandar Shah after his victory and assuming the kingship of the Sultanate in 1373. This is one of the oldest mosques located in this area, and it was modeled on the Grand Mosque of Damascus in Syria, and reputed to have become the largest mosque in South Asia during that period. As the Sultan could not complete this mosque, his successor Ghiyasuddin Shah completed the construction of the mosque, which was an architectural marvel of that age. So let us come and see this architecture.
Pandua was historically known as Hazrat-e-Pandua or as Firozabad. It was also known as Adina. It was the first capital city of Bengal Sultanate for 114 years between mid-14th century to mid-15th century. Over the course of 114 years, 9 kings ruled Bengal from Pandua. All of them were from the Ilyas Shahi dynasty, with the exception of Raja Ganesha, his son Jalaluddin Muhammad Shah, and his grandson Shamsuddin Ahmed Shah. All of them together ruled from Pandua. Jalaluddin Muhammad Shah ruled for 16 years and is said to have been converted by Sufi saint Qutb al-Alam, who died in 1433 AD. His dargah is located in Pandua. The great Sufi saint Jalaluddin Tabrizi also settled in the city for some time, and the dargah is dedicated in his name. This saint came to a number of places in Assam, including Garigaon in Guwahati, where he had many followers or murids. They built palaces, forts, bridges, mosques, mausoleums, many of which are now in ruins or have disappeared completely. Adina Mosque. Sultan Mujahid Sikandar Shah commissioned the construction of the Grand Mosque at Adina after his victory and assuming the kingship of the Sultanate in 1373. It was modeled on the Grand Mosque of Damascus in Syria and is reputed to have become the largest mosque in South Asia during those periods. As the Sultan could not complete the structure in time, it is his successor Ghiyasuddin Shah who completed the construction of the mosque, which was an architectural marvel of that age. There were separate ladies' galleries for offering prayers and rooms for guests to stay called Musafir Khana. Almost all the structures located in the directions of the east, north and south have collapsed due to various climatic factors. In the western section shows that the stones from the pre-existing structures of Hindu and Buddhist temples have been reused. This is the reason that in one way it looks like a Hindu temple. The length from the north to the south direction is 507 feet and the east to west is 285 feet. It was estimated that during the Sultanate period, more than 10,000 people offered prayers in the mosque. It had 378 domes and most of them were destroyed by various natural causes including earthquake of 1897. It has beautiful calligraphy on its walls. There were terracotta decorations in the structures that proves that the local Hindu influences and traditions were prevalent in Bengal. Eklakhi Mausoleum. This monument was a great piece of architecture which was very typical of Bengal style of architecture, with darbar rooms, terracotta decorations, polished and ornamented with figurines of flowers and animals fused with Islamic form of designs. The Sultans of Bengal imitated the Persianate court traditions. It was constructed by Raja Ganesha in favor of his son Yadu or Jadu, who was converted to Islam and took the name of Jalaluddin Muhammad Shah, who ruled between 1412 and 1415. As the cost of construction was about 1 lakh or 1 lakh, it came to be called Eklakhi Mausoleum. It contains the graves of Jalaluddin Muhammad Shah, his wife and his son Samsuddin Ahmed Shah.
Now I am standing in front of the famous Eklakhi Mausoleum, located very close to the Adina Masjid in Pandua. As you can see, this is a great piece of architecture which is very typical of Bangla style of architecture, with darbar room, terracotta decorations, polished and ornamented figurines of flowers and animals fused with the Islamic form of designs. The Sultans of Bengal imitated the Persianate court traditions, and it was constructed by Raja Ganesha in favor of his son Yadu or Jadu, who was converted to Islam and took the name of Jalaluddin Muhammad Shah between 1492 and 1415.